Hi everybody, Mr. Owens here. Today I'm going to go over how to graph on a coordinate plane. This should be a review for most of you. So this is a coordinate plane and there are two axes. This first one is the x-axis. So the x-axis goes side to side. And the math word for that is horizontal. It is the horizontal axis. The other axis is called the y-axis. The y-axis goes up and down. And the math word for that is vertical, okay? And when you write an ordered pair, so you'll be asked to write ordered pairs, or ask what is the coordinates? What are the coordinates of a point? And the way you write that is open parentheses, x, comma, y, close parentheses. Very, very important. Okay, now when you are setting up a graph, it's very important that you look at what you are counting by. So this point where the x and the y-axis intersect, right here, this is called the origin. And that point is at 0, 0. Because it's at 0 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis. And I'll explain that in just a moment. So it's very important that you look at what you're counting by. Now, normally we'll just be counting by ones, nice and easy. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we always start at 0. You always start at 0. You do not start at 1. And you need to count by the same thing every single time. So, if you want to count by 2s, you can do that. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Totally fine. But you need to make sure you're being consistent. So if you did 0, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, that would not work, because even though we're counting by 2 right here, you're going up by 1 right here, and that's not okay. So you need to make sure you're being consistent starting at 0. So I'll just count by ones. And the same thing goes for the y-axis. So if you want to do 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, that's totally fine, but remember it needs to be consistent. So if you did 0, 1, 5, 10, this you cannot do. This is no good, okay? You cannot do that because you're going from up by 1 here, and then 4 here, and then 5, okay? So even though it looks like it should work, it does not work, okay? So you can count by whatever you like, 5, 10, 15, 20, and you do not have to count by the same thing on the x and y axis. Okay, now let's go over graphing some points, or writing the coordinates for those points. So I'm just going to count by ones here, and I'll count by ones on the x-axis. And I want you to tell me what is this point right here. So in order to figure out what point this is, remember, we always have open parentheses x, comma, y. And what you do is you start your point, you go down until you hit the x-axis. There we hit the number 2. So I'm going to put 2. Then you go over until you hit the y-axis. The number's 4. So this point is 2, 4. 2, 4. All right, let's try another one. Let's try this one right here. So same thing, we're going to go until we hit the x-axis first. And it looks like it's going to be 5. Then we go over until we hit the y-axis. It looks like it's 1. Okay, so this point is 5, 1. And that's how you use the coordinate plane.